Just be yourself. It is the golden rule of the modern age, the ultimate piece of advice offered by everyone from self-help gurus to our closest friends. It's whispered to us before first date, a job interview, a difficult conversation. It's meant to be liberating, a key to unlock a life of effortless confidence and ease. But what if it's a lie? What if just be yourself is some of the worst advice you could ever follow? What if the singular, stable, authentic self you're so desperately trying to find doesn't actually exist? This is the hidden trap of authenticity. You've been told to look inward to find your true self, as if it's a hidden jewel buried beneath layers of social conditioning. This search creates a constant, low-level anxiety. You ask yourself, am I being my real self right now? You equate authenticity with acting on every raw impulse, mistaking unfiltered emotion for honesty. I'm not being rude, I'm just being authentic. This pursuit often leads not to clarity, but to a kind of paralysis. The more you try to be authentic, the more it feels like a performance. You become an actor playing the part of yourself, and the entire project collapses under the weight of its own paradox. The problem isn't you. The problem is that you've been sold a flawed definition of authenticity. You've been looking for something that isn't there. And this is where we must turn from pop psychology to a more rigorous, more challenging, and ultimately more freeing philosophical perspective. The great existentialist thinkers looked at the human condition and came to a radical conclusion. You don't find yourself, you create yourself. Their central idea was that for human beings, existence precedes essence. You are born, you exist first. There is no pre-written blueprint, no fixed true self or soul. It is through your choices, your actions, and your commitments that you forge your essence, your character, day by day. This changes everything. Authenticity is not a static thing you discover. It is the lifelong process of becoming. And this process is built on several uncomfortable truths that nobody wants to hear. The first uncomfortable truth is, your self is a collection of roles, not a single solid thing. You are a different person with your parents than you are with your lover. You are different with your boss than you are with your oldest friends. The modern cult of authenticity sees this as hypocrisy. It demands that you be the exact same person in all situations, but this is a fantasy. A more mature understanding is that we are all playing different roles in the great drama of life. This is not inauthentic. It is a sign of social intelligence. The goal is not to have one single rigid self. The goal is to choose your roles consciously and perform them with integrity. Authenticity isn't about refusing to wear a mask. It's about knowing you're wearing one and choosing it with purpose. The second, more brutal truth. True authenticity is forged in aspiration, not in impulse. The popular idea of authenticity tells you to embrace your flaws. If you feel lazy, be lazy. If you feel petty, be petty. That's the real you. This is a deeply dangerous lie. This is not authenticity. It is simply being a slave to your most primitive and unexamined impulses. A philosopher would argue that this is the least authentic you can be. True authenticity is the conscious choice to become a better version of yourself. It is the lazy person choosing the path of discipline. It is the fearful person choosing the path of courage. It is the arrogant person choosing the path of humility. Authenticity is not about accepting who you are at your worst. It is the daily, difficult struggle to become the person you choose to be at your best. This leads to the third and most terrifying truth. You are radically responsible for who you are. If there is no pre-existing true self to find, then you have no excuses. You cannot say, well, that's just the way I am. You are that way because you have chosen to be through thousands of small actions and inactions. Every time you choose the easy path over the right one, every time you indulge a negative impulse, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. This radical responsibility is frightening because it removes all safety nets. But it is also the source of all human freedom. You are not a finished statue to be discovered in the marble. You are the sculptor. The chisel is in your hand, and you are carving yourself into being with every choice you make. So how do we practice this more demanding, more powerful form of authenticity? Here are two practical exercises. First, the ideal self-definition. Stop asking the paralyzing question, "Who am I?" Instead, take 10 minutes and answer a more powerful question, "Who do I choose to become?" Write down 3 virtues or qualities that represent your ideal self. Not who you are now, but who you are committed to striving towards. Perhaps it's courageous, patient, or wise. This is your new compass. Second, practice the choice-based action. For the next 24 hours, before you make a decision, how you respond to an email, whether you keep a promise to yourself, how you speak to a loved one, pause and ask, what would the person I choose to be do in this situation? Then do that thing, even if it's hard, especially if it's hard. This is the active moment-by-moment process of forging your character. It is authenticity in action. The popular search for authenticity was a trap. It kept you looking for a ghost inside yourself. The truth is, authenticity is not about looking inward. It's about looking forward toward the person you are building. It is not a discovery. It is an invention, and you are the inventor. The pressure to be yourself is gone, and it is replaced by the profound, terrifying, and beautiful freedom to create yourself. If you are ready to be the artist of your own life, write, "I am the creator," in the comments below. Subscribe, and let's embrace the freedom of becoming.